at Louisville, but one that's equally as effective.
Marquette losing to Kansas on Wednesday. Louisville losing to Tennessee. Both teams, though, had a really good shot to win the game, but they suffered runs from the opposing team at inopportune moments. And now here they are in the third-place game, trying to avoid going home 0-2. Both teams will be thankful for a victory here tonight. Their coaches will be in a much better mood at practice the next couple of days if they can win this one.
Boy, Marquette defended the initial action, that little lob pass by Louisville, very well. Just didn't get the ball at the end.
And the three will for V.J. King, the junior from Cleveland, the former McDonald's All-American. Also keep an eye on Ryan McMahon, 30 in red, making his first start for Louisville tonight. Got poked in the eye on that offensive trip and still bothered by it back on D.
Kristen Cunningham guarding Marcus Howard. He's going to have to run after him all night. Marquette runs a lot of actions to try to get Howard and Hauser open for three-point shots, but this is where they need to be effective, inside.
Nice little jump hook there by Theo John, the 6'9" sophomore out of Minneapolis.
Against Louisville's ball screen coverages, I think you're going to see Marquette try to throw back on the action and then look inside. Throw back, throw in.
Another three-point attempt, and this time it's the big fella, Steven Enoch, the center, who knocks it down. He's now taken 2 threes this year, and he's made them both.
Well, that bodes very well for Louisville. Enoch went scoreless in the game against Tennessee, and they are a talented team that I think could be much more effective on the offensive end.
Hauser left it short. Good defense by King, and here he comes the other way. V.J. King, one of several Cardinals who have played for 3 different coaches at the top of the Big East Conference.
I think they'll be in the upper half of the Big East, but they're injured right now and a little bit banged up. They got guys coming back from injury, and then they've got a player, Greg Elliott, who has been out with a thumb surgery. He's not going to be back till mid-December. When they get him back, he's a really good player, and they need him.
John with a left hand this time, and down with another rebound is King.
Not a bad move by Theo John, but I think he could just power that up to the rim. There's no reason he has to settle for a left-handed jump hook there.
McMahon turns it over, stolen by Howard, and back comes Marquette.
Good read of the eyes of the passer on that baseline drive, baseline drift.
And we'll stop and go. Marquette knocked down 11 threes in the first half of their game against Kansas, led by 9 at the break, and then the Jayhawks came out, Jay, on a 22-0 run to start the second half.
Well, Kansas did a better job of putting pressure out on the perimeter, and the pressure really seemed to bother Marquette. They also went small more often and did a lot better job in ball screen coverage than they did in the first half.
Shot clock at 5. Howard got a switch. Hauser up with a 3. And a good job so far on the defensive glass by the Cardinals.
Well, Louisville made Marquette go deep into that clock, and they had to take a rushed one, not the one they wanted.
McMahon, got to keep an eye on him from beyond the arc. He's right up there in terms of shooting ability with Howard and Hauser.
You have to get a hand up. You have to make him put it on the deck. Good pass. Great reversal and good pass.
And a good start for the game on the interior for Marquette, as John has both of their buckets.
And that's really what Theo John needs to bring, a post presence, just being a threat to score, and then he's got to protect the basket.
Behind the back, pull up from beyond the arc for King. And look at Jamal Cain skying for the rebound. He tried. Cunningham to inbound it for Louisville, a grad transfer from Samford. We just saw another grad transfer from Samford, Justin Coleman. A terrific guard that we saw out in Maui. He had himself a heck of a tournament.
Well, he really played well, Justin Coleman. He's going to have to continue to play well, because Arizona has a tough time putting points up if their guards don't score them.
Well, battle on the inside. King around and out, can't finish, and back comes Howard.
But good defense by Sam Hauser, just making King take that fadeaway. Got a switch here. They need to go inside on that switch.
Sakar Annam, and he draws the. Sakar Annam at the line now for the Golden Eagles. And he missed them both.
Till a couple days ago, I didn't know how Sakar Annam got his first name. His parents are Samuel and Carla.
Right.
And because of the first couple letters in each one of their names, they came up with Sakar. And so I was thinking, well, I wonder what my name would have been if my parents did that.
Yeah.
Margie and Anthony. So it could have been Anmar or Moron.
Do I get a vote?
I know what your vote would be.
Wave off the basket. Arnell, Arnie and Ellie. Right. we could pull that off?
Or LR.
Or LR. Sakar Annam with the ball.
Good drive.
Left hand, not there, and another defensive rebound for the Cardinals. Again, cleaning up the glass nicely. This time it's Sutton.
Marquette really needs to continue to pound the ball into the paint. At times, because they're such good shooters, they can tend to settle for jump shots and rely an awful lot on Sam Hauser and Marcus Howard to score their points. But they've got to have other guys step forward.
This is Quan Four, grad transfer from Richmond, into the game at the point now for Louisville as Sutton misses the three. And down to the ball for Marquette is a grad transfer for them, Joseph Chartouni, who played 3 years at Fordham. He's from Montreal, and he's
a guy that can come in and play the point guard position. He's a good passer, but he's got to step forward and put some points on the board and be a threat to score.
It's interesting, Jay, as grad transfers become more and more common since the rule came in a few years ago. Obviously, you're only getting these guys for 1 year. And sometimes they seem to blend in instantly, and sometimes it takes a little bit more time for everybody to figure out how it's going to work.
Yeah, it's a fair amount of time in the weight room. Jordan Moore looks better as well.
Brother sits down. Little brother checks into the game. They will often play together as well. Darius Perry, who didn't start for the first time this year. Ryan McMahon got the start, but he went to the bench with a couple of early fouls, and now Perry's in there.
Good job by Chartouni to stay in front of Darius Perry when that high ball screen came out.
Malik Williams and his both coaches have gone very deep into their benches here in the opening 6 minutes, and a turnover.
Well, Marquette's defense has been very alert to start this game.
Chartouni with a full head of steam tried to thread the needle between a couple of defenders. Haven't met since 2013. Howard stumbling a little bit, and that shot was altered by Malik Williams. Elbow jumper a little bit strong for Jordan Wara, who's coming
up. And then when Greg Elliott comes back, gives him another weapon.
Yeah, interesting team. Obviously, Villanova considered the favorite, the defending national champions, although they've lost a lot of guys for starters from last year. St. John's a very intriguing team in the Big East. Nice shot fake by Howard. Can't get the three off. Joey Hauser will. And the long rebound down to Annam. Howard. Got it.
Well, isn't it amazing after an offensive rebound how often you get a really good three-point shot? I'll tell you, Dan, Chartouni's got to start pulling the trigger. He's wide open on some of these shots. I think his teammates expect him to shoot it.
7-0 run now for Marquette. The Cardinals made their first 2 shots, both of them threes, and they're 0 for 8 since. Wara bumped by Howard, and that
waited to the second one.
Wara 20-year high and 10 rebounds in the loss to Tennessee on Wednesday. The Cardinals were within 1 point of the Volunteers fairly late into the second half, and then Tennessee went on a 14-0 run to salt it away.
Threw a little 2-3 zone out there against Louisville, and Louisville threw a 1-3-1 out against Tennessee. A little surprised to see that. I hadn't seen that this year from Louisville watching their tapes.
Boy, it's the second game, not that this one isn't, but boy, is the second game going to be fun between Kansas and Tennessee. The Jayhawks ranked second, the Vols ranked 5th. Nice turnaround little jump hook from Ed Morrow, a redshirt junior, a transfer from Nebraska.
And a guy who averaged about 9 rebounds as a sophomore. He hasn't shown that just yet at Marquette. Another guy who's still getting his legs under him. And if he can perform at that level again, keep consistently affecting things, and Marquette's got a real chance.
Darius Perry had to work hard on a number of fronts just to get that shot off, and then he hit it.
He is so quick and athletic. And he's gotten more coverage than the Duke freshman, but they have proven to be legit. I mean, for these guys to play at that level at that age, it's really kind of hard to fathom. And they're going to continue to get better, as are a number of these. All these teams that right now are performing at a high level, they're going to continue to get better.
Other games in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Louisville, for example, they will take on Michigan State. Virginia will be at Maryland. North Carolina will be at Michigan. Some really good games coming next week.
Marquette again throwing the ball inside to Theo John. He and Ed Morrow have combined for 6 points, but
he should have had an incentive clause in his contract for that sort of thing. It goes to the possession arrow in that kind of a situation, and the arrow is pointing in Louisville's favor.
The ball needed to go into Stephen Enoch right away. He was open with a foot in the paint, had to step off to get it.
Enoch with a nice jump hook. Boy, he can do a lot of different things, Kenny.
He is NBA talented. He's got a great shooting touch. He just isn't very old in the game. Started playing late, transferred in from UConn. But he has a lot of ability. As his confidence begins to soar, so will his game. Got to switch now. Good pass inside. John could have taken that along the baseline if he wanted to.
Left hand, a little bit short. And 2 Cardinals is coming up with the championship game here with the NIT season tip-off. For people who don't know what they need to know, Jay, about the Vols, tell us about Rick Barnes' group.
Well, Rick Barnes has a veteran squad that is really tough. Grant Williams Jr., one of the best players in the country, SEC Player of the Year last year. Admiral Schofield could play football, basketball, whatever he wants to play, and he could knock anybody down. But he's a skilled and good player, and they're a tough defensive team. They can really play. Good pass.
Just got Lamonte Turner back from an injury as well, so Tennessee getting healthier. Howard doesn't need much time or much space, but he misses that 3. What a block out there by Jordan Ward. You know when the ball hits the court on a rebound that people are blocking out.
I had a high school coach who used to say a perfect rebound is 5 guys blocking out and the ball bouncing in the middle of the lane. And I go, that never happens. That's not perfect. The perfect one's above the rim. Good move.
Enoch. Well, we've seen a 3, a couple of inside moves, a block. As you mentioned, spent 2 years at UConn, was a backup there in really a guard-oriented offense before sitting out as a transfer. So he's got this year and next year in Louisville.
Well, Stephen Enoch made a good move there, but Theo John let him get around him to the basket. I mean, he didn't have his dribble, he just pivoted. And you have to stay between your man and the basket, be big, make him make a shot over you.
Hauser with a
good offense and bad defense.
Sorry, Jay. Hauser with a big size advantage on Cunningham, misses the jumper.
And oftentimes when you have a size advantage inside, that's when you need to power it up. And heck, if you get an offensive foul, fine. 2 guys up top, 2 in the corners. They call that a horn set. Anytime you see that, you're going to hear the word horns.
Good catch in traffic. Great ball movement, frees up Cunningham for a 3.
Boy, that's the way to move the basketball. Steve Wojciechowski not happy right now. His corner shooter, even though you go inside. Hauser was covering up a little bit too, but you cannot leave a corner shooter in college basketball, in any level of basketball now. It's the easiest 3-point shot in the game.
Golden Eagles have missed their last 7 shots. They are trailing by 7 right now. Hauser gets it off, soft touch. That's a tough little 6-footer from the baseline.
Well, he's such a great shooter, not only from distance, but as you said, that's a touch shot. But he can operate in the post, he can face up, he can hit from deep, put it on the deck.
Akoy Agao into the game for the first time for Louisville. And we get a coached at Xavier, was also on the staff at Wake Forest under the late Skip Prosser, both Xavier and Wake Forest. And in 9 years at Xavier, 8 trips to the NCAA tournament, 4 Sweet 16s, and an Elite 8.
Really preaches toughness.
Entered a 6th year, which is pretty unusual by the NCAA because of all the injuries that he's had, and a career where he started it. So he's the old man of the group. I mean, how often do you see a guy get a 6th year? And almost 24 years of age, but he brings some depth, some maturity, some stability to the front court. Chartouni turns it over.
He's got to be stronger with the ball. Don't know where he was going. You get caught down along the baseline and get some problems down there if you don't keep your dribble.
Wara forces it up and it goes. And Steve Wojciechowski's yelling at one of the officials that that should have been a walk on Wara. I think the Louisville bench wanted a foul on Marquette as well.
Marquette trying to establish some rhythm. Louisville switching out on some of the exchanges out top.
Kane bounce pass into Matt, held in traffic, and Hauser's got a look.
Smart play by Held. He could have gone up right away, didn't have it, and immediately looked out to Sam Hauser. Again, that guy's leaving corner shooters. I mean, if you give up a challenge 2 in the paint, that's one thing. Well, you give up a wide open. The job he's done in a short time at Tennessee to get the Vols into the top 5 is really remarkable. Tennessee was struggling after Donnie Tyndall got fired. There was a real struggle for the Vols, and he turned that program around seemingly in no time.
Laura bounce pass, Akoy surrounded and still finishes.
Able to power that up. And right now Louisville is having some success inside. Stephen Enoch has 7 points, a couple of blocks. Akoy is coming off his career high at 11 points against Tennessee.
Hauser at the other end, showing he can hit shots that are inside the arc as well.
He moves without the ball so well, just curling that little screen. And he's always ready to shoot.
Cunningham using the screen, gets inside, shields off the defender, and lays it in.
Well, Marquette trying to ice or side that ball screen to keep it on one side so it doesn't come to the other side of the floor. It was very well negotiated by Louisville.
Good recovery by Akoy to get back on a held after the ball screen.
And I'm trying to drive it. You're better off driving it after you reverse it once.
Boy, good hands on a couple of occasions by Darius Perry. Shot clock's at 5. And Hauser draws a foul on the Irish. Look for an undefeated season as they take on USC at the Coliseum. And you can always watch it live on the ESPN app from anywhere.
Well, the Trojans are struggling. Good pass inside.
Good defense by Sutton.
Well, Sutton just held his ground. I was surprised that Hauser didn't kind of fade away and go off the glass. He had plenty of space to do that.
Cunningham not this time. Ball's loose and VJ King misses. Man, you talk about it. Yeah. It's a good thing it's not the NBA rule with a jump ball because they wouldn't be able to figure out who should jump it off.
Well, they could jump 4-on-1.
They play rock, paper, scissors till they figure it out.
You know, that's not a bad idea when there's a tie-up.
Just play rock, paper, scissors. Joey Hauser draws the ball.
What basket were they shooting at?
That one.
Then it's the defense. It's not
so
that hard.
Whoever's defending the basket. All right. You know, I know you're still bitter about your jump ball winning percentage in your
career.
My
jump ball winning percentage actually was great, given that I couldn't jump. It was outstanding. I stole a lot of them, but it really was pretty good.
If only this were Maui, I could ask David Robinson about that.
I don't think I beat him.
All right, we'll give you Robinson and Sampson. Tough fadeaway. Man, that's a low percentage shot there by Wara. So far, Marcus Howard has been kept in check here in the first 15-16 minutes of the game. John, nice job.
See, that's a better move. That's a strong move. More of a drop step to his strong hand, his right hand. That was more of a big-time move by Theo John.
So John's given him 6. Hauser's got 9. Howard has only 3 points tonight, has only taken 3 shots. Brendan Bailey knocks it away.
A great play by down. Even when I found out it was Walton who was applying the pressure, it's hard to turn down a massage in Maui. Luann was outstanding before Walton pushed her out of the way and took over.
Wara, a nice spin move, and it goes to extend the lead to 5.
Well, he's got a lot of game, Jordan Wara. Just knows how to play. He's a leading rebounder for Louisville as well. We made a commitment. Bad pass.
And a steal by 4. Shovel pass, Wara.
Good job by Quan 4 to get out there and knock that ball away and take it the other way. I always wonder why guys pick a jersey number. Why do you think Quan 4 picked number 4?
Yeah, let me ruminate on that for a little bit, see if anything comes to me.
Just questions that you come up with that don't seem to have an answer.
The 3 for Brendan Bailey, the 6'8" freshman out of Salt Lake City, made his first shot of the season and then made only one of his next 15, but he looked pretty good on that one.
He's going to be good. Watched today at practice, watched him shoot. I noted and wrote down in my notes that he's got a really good stroke, and then he confirms that by knocking down that corner jumper.
Malik Williams, a big guy who's more comfortable.
See him before the game, but I'll tell you what I think it is. You know how when coaches, when they don't think their team's very well, they take away
all of his own gear out of his own office and
no chair. Yes. He took his chair out.
2-point lead for the Cardinals with 2.5 to go here in the first half. If you're Steve Wojciechowski, meanwhile, as that bucket goes in, now you're down 4. But Marcus Howard only has 3 points, has only taken 3 shots. It's not like he's shooting poorly. They're not giving him any room. What are they doing so well? And now Howard tries to force one on the inside. What are they doing so well to prevent Howard from getting open alone?
They are helping on him. They're switching and they're keeping a hand up all the time. Then when he gives it up, for the most part, they're not letting him get it back in a scoring area. And then they haven't given up much in transition. I think Louisville's done a really nice job of not only going after offensive rebounds, but then getting back and fanning out to shooters. I mean, the two guys you always have to cut the head off the snake, and that is the point guard, and that's Marcus, in this case, Marcus Howard. And they've done a really nice job. Boy, 1 red shirt and 4 white shirts, and the red shirt came away with the ball. Howard, you got to know where he is all the time. If Theo John beats you, you can live with that. Theo John's a good player, but he's not going to put up 52 on you.
And now Chartouni back in to take Howard off the ball a little bit. Maybe they can free him up a little bit more easily. Turnaround, Sam Hauser, no. Look at the rebound by Bailey. Great effort.
Rebound instead of looking behind to see if anybody could lay a body on.
Louisville 3-1 in the season. The loss to Tennessee on Wednesday. Marquette 3-2. The losses to Kansas on Wednesday. And then got blown out in Bloomington by Indiana. Lost by 23 points a couple of weeks ago. Joey Hauser falling out of bounds. Turns it over and gets posterized by VJ King.
Yeah, Joey Hauser falling out of bounds, lost his balance and decided to try to get it back to a teammate right under the opponent's basket. Not a good idea, but how about that dunk by VJ King?
Wide open Sam Hauser, and Marquette will gladly trade loud 2s for your basic 3.
Yeah. Steve Wojciechowski would probably say, I don't think that's the choice. but you just said 4 words that Chris Mack should say. I should never hear that during the course of a broadcast. A wide open Sam Hauser.
Right.
How does he get wide open?
Nothing good comes from that for the opposition. He's as dangerous as Howard is.
Good job by Marcus Howard to get above that screen, get over it.
Forces Cunningham into a tough turnaround. And they're on the offensive glass again. Williams on the inside for Louisville. They've got Enoch, they've got Williams, and they've got Akoy.
Fort Wayne.
Was there more?
Boy, nice job by Darius Perry to keep the ball from going into Marcus Howard.
Chartouni's got time.
We didn't do as good a job of that as we needed to, but yet even with Marcus Howard not scoring, with Louisville getting into the paint, they're only down, Marquette is, 2 possessions to start the second half.
They take a ton of 3s generally. They shot a good percentage from 3-point range, as you can see, 4 for 7, but taking only 7 is a very low total for Marquette in a half of basketball.
Well, Marquette turning the ball over. Sam Hauser on a little shuffle cut was wide open at the beginning, but Jamal angle that will not feed the post, and that's what led to that turnover.
And Steve Wojciechowski unhappy with Jamal Cain to put him on the bench and to bring Sakar Annam in just 30 seconds into the half. Nice feed inside. Enoch a little bit strong, though.
A good post up and really good feed out of the high-low. And that's how you get the ball inside. Enoch just didn't finish it.
Joey Hauser for 3. And the long rebound down to Ryan McMahon.
And numbers.
Stay out deep onto McMahon. He's got serious range. Another good post up by Enoch, but he left it short. One a little long, one a little short. Looked at the official on his way back down the court as if implying there should have been a foul call.
That ball never should have gone in there. Boy, he got a switch and got Cunningham on John.
The clock when they blew the whistle.
But if the defender was in the cylinder and there was contact there, I mean, Wojo makes a fair point, is that why wasn't a foul called on the defense? That's really a weird situation. I'm very surprised at that outcome.
Yeah, and we were told there are 4 options. So we were talking about, is it a common foul, a flagrant 1, a flagrant 2, which we didn't think it was. The 4th option is
probably take the foul away altogether.
Yeah. And there you can see when they go to the monitor and have a look what the different options are. Ryan McMahon knocks it down.
And McMahon responds with a pretty darn good post move for a little guy.
which is not what you expect from Ryan McMahon. He's most comfortable about 22 feet away from the basket.
Yeah, you want him to take a tough two. Good split.
Howard gives it off to Hauser. And he got a good stroke.
Boy, that was so pretty.
And Howard rather, with the exception, Jay, maybe of that one drive, the shots aren't there for him tonight. He's not really forcing the issue, though. He's still letting it come to him.
Well, that was a great play to get in the lane and then find Sam Hauser. Dwayne Sutton came off him. You really can't leave Hauser at all. You'd rather have Marcus Howard take that tough two in the lane than let Sam Hauser get a step in three all by himself.
Howard inside this time with a soft touch.
Boy, just making that one play seems to have energized Marcus Howard a little bit. And being down 7, now a stop, 2 scores, and a stop in between.
And Marquette back within 2. Don't forget Kansas and Tennessee still to come. Top 5 matchup in the championship game here with the NIT season tip-off. What would you do? You're Louisville and Sam Hauser.
When you leave, like, you're giving up an open 3 when you leave him. And what are you giving Marquette? You're probably giving Marquette a tough 2. And I would trade that tough 2 for an open 3, because an open 3 for Hauser is in. It is in.
That pass deflected. John was open underneath. And now we got a foul. You know, preseason, for what it's worth, in the ACC poll, they were picked 11th in the ACC. So at least by the voting of those who cover the conference, the expectations kind of low for this Louisville team. 3rd coach in as many years, but they do have a lot of guys back. They got a lot of good players. And Chris Mack right now, Jay, according to a lot of recruiting experts, Paul Biancardi and others, they've got the #1 class in the country coming in next year. 6 players, as Hauser gets an easy putback. Too easy if you're Chris Mack. 5 players in the top 100, but none of them are like top 5, top 10 considered one and done kind of guys.
Well, you expect to keep those players for a while, but you know, in this day and age, you never know. A guy gets better, he could go.
But I think Louisville fans have to be thrilled to see that Mack, you know, that since 2010, and look at that bottom stat. Think about that for a second. Kansas looking for its 14th consecutive win against a top 10 ranked team. Now, you know, they could be 1, the opponent could be 10, they could be 10, the opponent could be 1, but whatever the case is, it's a pretty impressive stat.
Or a goaltender, the ball hit the backboard before he got a piece of it. It looks like that Howard is getting a little bit more aggressive and looking to call his own number.
You know, Jay, maybe just while we have a moment, the officials came over during the break and talked to us a little bit about the call, the offensive foul that came off the board, and their interpretation of the play was that the defender, Ryan McMahon, was in the cylinder of the offensive player, so that it was not the offensive player's fault for making contact with McMahon. That's why they took the offensive foul away. By rule, they cannot assess a defensive foul on that play. They can take the foul away, leave it as a common foul, make it a flagrant 1, make it a flagrant 2. But they felt it was, for lack of a better term, a cylinder violation, and that's why they took it away from the Marquette player.
The thing that's interesting is when you're right under the basket, there's never a time you're not going to be in the cylinder. I mean, it's your body to body in there. I mean, the cylinder really is you wind up seeing it called on the perimeter or away for great up and under move.
Darius Perry.
Boy, that's a little guy inside that's making that move. Didn't panic, kept his poise. Jordan Moore has got to stay right now with Marcus Howard.
In the country, the Hoosiers go to Cameron to take on the Blue Devils.
Romeo Langford, a terrific player for Indiana, and a really nice addition in the grad transfer market. Evan Fitzner from St. Mary's. Great pass underneath. Boy, good. That was a good play call out of the timeout for Marquette to get a basket.
And tomorrow, the assist to Marcus Howard. Perry turns the corner.
But how easy was that? Just missed a layup. Louisville's just getting into the paint so easily. Good pass.
Morrow has to give it up to Chartouni to keep it in bounds. Wide open look for Annam is short.
Not sure Sakar Annam was the guy that they wanted shooting that ball. Morrow did a good job of making that catch. Louisville trying to lift up this Marquette defense. You have anybody in the low time, and Darius Perry could have come over from the opposite corner, but you just don't want to leave Sam Hauser, and you'd rather give up that 2 than give up an open 3 to Hauser. It's a tough decision, but a decision that was the right one.
Wara misses the 3. Akoy with a nice offensive rebound in traffic, and then turns it over to Howard. Got the switch. Yep.
Well, you can't pick up your dribble there. He should have dribbled right around Akoy.
A play coming in from the bench from Coach Wojciechowski right now. And here's Chartouni as Howard moves off the ball again.
Same side with Hauser.
Driving, left-handed layup, too strong.
As Marcus Howard does, when you haven't been able to get a rhythm, it can get frustrating.
I think the most remarkable thing is in 26 minutes, he's only attempted 2 3-point shots. They've been crowding him. They've been running him off the line.
It's just a really well-executed game plan on Marcus Howard by Louisville. Chris Mack is basically saying, somebody else beat me, because I am not going to let Marcus Howard do it.
Perry. And we have a
going low while his counterpart jumped.
Cunningham back in. He and 4 both in the backcourt together right now. King. Akoy's got it. Kicks it out. Cunningham with an open 3.
After it was kicked out, it's that one extra pass, and oftentimes say the extra pass, that was the right pass.
He made one of those in the first half to set up a teammate for a 3. That's 3 assists now in the game for 4. Bill Murray, who was a Xavier fan until this year, now he's a Louisville fan. He travels a lot to games.
Yeah, with son and assistant coach, you get good tickets, so he's got that going for him, which is nice.
Chartouni, Morrow with 4 on the clock. Reverse is good. Nicely done.
What pretty play to get the ball inside. And you know, Marquette really needs to get some production outside of Sam Hauser, and obviously they normally get great production out of Marcus Howard, but he's been taken out of this game in large measure by the defense of Louisville. But there've got to be other guys that step forward. Getting Greg Elliott back is going to be a big part of that.
It looks like they have the makings of a nice combo inside as Cunningham knocks down a jumper. I mean, if Morrow can do what he did at Nebraska, and with Theo John as well, that's a pretty good combination inside as Howard gets just a glimmer of space and knocks it down.
Well, he really went after that shot. After the ball went through the net, Marquette got it in quickly, and just shows how alert you have to be to him at all times. There's never a time you can take a rest on Marcus Howard. Doesn't matter who has to pick him up. Somebody has to get extra possessions, whether it's been an offensive rebound. They've had a couple. This hasn't been a high turnover game, but you know, Louisville's been able to force a couple turnovers where they took it the other way and got a bucket. Or that, you know, when Joey Hauser threw the ball away right under the basket and B.J. King got that dunk. That's the difference in the game. A couple of those quote-unquote little plays.
4 driving on Chartouni, no, and Morrow rips it down.
Now that looks more like Ed Morrow than the guy we've seen in the early games here. That's the Nebraska Ed Morrow. Good fake.
Morrow guarded by Enoch. Goes around him, but too strong. Follow no good, and it's Louisville ball.
Adam looked like he got hit.
Adam got knocked down and is late getting back into the play. Can Louisville take advantage? King tried, but missed the shot.
Steve Wojciechowski calling the play out. Chartouni taking the ball in the backcourt. That allows Howard to work without the ball. Got a switch.
And the pass deflected again. But again, both the Hausers just as comfortable on the perimeter, maybe even more so.
Well, you can't let that ball go to the opposite corner.
Shot clock at 5. Sam Hauser. And down to the Cardinals.
It's not the kind of shot that Marquette wanted. That challenge 3.
Again, they're great events, but they can be a tough event. The caliber of basketball, the caliber of opposition is so high. You want to go and get these great games in the early going, but you might go home 0-2. Whoever loses this game is going home winless. Wara step back. Yes. Nicely done by Jordan Nwora with a long two.
Well, he's gifted. He didn't start against Tennessee, but he is a player that can score in a variety of ways.
Coming off the bench, averaging 19 points per game. Joey Hauser to Sam Hauser. Little brother the assist, big brother the bucket.
Well, that's a little bit of old Louisville, where they gambled when they missed it. There wasn't the rotation. All of a sudden, Sam Hauser wide open in the corner. You know, we talked about him being a guy that you can't leave. But they're more a position defensive team now. When you're playing a position, you know, and somebody gambles, you're maybe reluctant to leave the good positioning that you had.
Enoch gave it up in the post, got it back beyond the arc, and then missed the three.
Good pass.
Morrow crosses over, missed it. And obviously everybody was in agreement that that was a two, so that's cost Louisville a point.
And there's no, the next game is sitting there that has a monitor, so there's nobody there to alert the officials that, hey, you know, we missed this one.
Marquette back within two, a long way to go here in this one. McMahon launches. And John rips down the rebound.
The last several possessions, Marquette has been a little tougher on the defensive end, limiting Louisville to one challenge shot.
Well, I would think if you play for a coach who was the National Defensive Player of the Year one of his years at Duke, you better play good defense. But this is a team that did not play good defense last year and has really made that a priority in the offseason, the summer and the fall practice, to be better this year as the freshman Joey Hauser ties the game.
A poised move by Hauser. You thought he might take that all the way and put it in with his left, but just spun around for a short little jumper in the lane. And you mentioned the defense. I do think that this team will get better, this Marquette team, as soon as Greg Elliott's back. And that's a big loss for them early on the season.
John knocks it away, and Marquette's got the ball and a chance to take the lead.
It was a good idea by McMahon, but that's just a tough angle from which to feed the post. You want to get it to more toward the side if you're going to throw a little bounce pass in there.
Last lead for Marquette was 11-9 until now.
That is just beautiful pick and roll basketball. Beautiful little pocket pass and crisp scoring cut. You may not get the ball. The play may not be for you, but something you do can open up a teammate. And I think that's what Marquette and Louisville are both looking for with their five guys they put on the floor.
Chartouni beating Oklahoma State today. Florida State needed overtime to take out LSU, and that sets up a really interesting championship game tomorrow, 1 o'clock on ESPN.
I think Villanova against Oklahoma State put up like 39 threes. What a pass.
Nwora finds a cutting McMahon.
Just not enough pressure on the elbow to get Jordan Nwora discouraged from throwing that pass. That was beautifully executed.
And that snaps a 9-0 Marquette run. Howard, no. Tit, no. John working hard, comes down with it. And goes back up with it.
John will get the foul.
Around and out, and Marquette ball again with a chance to take the lead.
Every time there's an exchange, they're switching out on Marcus Howard. They're not going to let him breathe.
Joey Hauser driving, and a foul on Darius.
I would put Akoy into as many ball screens as I could if I was Marquette. Make him guard out on the perimeter and see if you can get him in the switch and then drive him.
Who's the go-to guy for a bucket if you're Louisville? Is it at this point? Is it Nwora?
Yeah, usually it's going to be Nwora, but you've identified the issue there, and that's, does Louisville have somebody you can throw the ball to get a bucket?
Agau's going to try. John knocks it away. Still Cardinals ball. Nwora tries it on a drive. Won this or that at the under 18, under 19, and that's fantastic stuff. But Nwora, this is not age group basketball. This is open basketball, playing for Nigeria against grown men from other countries in Africa, trying to qualify for the World Championship and eventually the Olympics.
And you can see the growth in Nwora just from last year to this. You know, his coaches let good pass. Boy, that's beautiful. Terrific roll to the basket, and he was big when he did it. Theo John. A lot of guys can roll to the basket and seem awfully small because they don't really want it. But Theo John rolled hard to the basket, was a presence down there.
And Marcus Howard picks up his 5th assist of the night, and they've been pretty. John helps, and that leaves Akoy open. And
I smell smoke. I think there may be a fire. So fire!
Let's see if Marquette tries to put Akoy on a ball screen again. And Akoy is barking as he gets back on defense.
That's what every team needs, is big guys that talk, because they're like linebackers behind the line.
There's the ball screen. Howard goes the other way. Another ball screen. Now Wara helps out, gets in front of John. The ball, errant pass bounces to John. Better defensive set there by Louisville.
Well, you'd like to see when John gets it that deep, take that thing up. He is such a powerful player.
A lot of dribbling by Perry. Open McMahon.
That has a chance to be a great basketball game. And I think Bill Self is looking forward to seeing just how tough his team is. He knows he's going against a veteran team in Tennessee, and his team much younger.
Joey Hauser inside Ed Morrow. And put him on the line. 3:29 to go, and Howard to inbound for the Golden Eagles. Morrow wanted the handoff, but Four not letting Howard get the ball back. So Morrow goes up, misses it, and Williams comes down with a rebound.
Well, those are plays that you expect to be finished inside. Those are plays that I think Ed Morrow will finish as the season goes along. Got the ball deep in the paint. Marquette's fought back in paint points. They were down big, but fought back to a decent number. I think they have 22 total.
Cunningham very steady at the point tonight, hasn't he been?
He's had a really good game. No turnovers, 10 points.
Tough shot, and it goes.
Boy, with the left hand, and wound up on his back as the ball went through the net. That was a big bucket for Louisville.
I'll tell you, we didn't see a lot of Sanford to do any of their games last year.
And Sam Hauser's right with him.
Yep. Knocks them both down. 3-point game. 2:43 to go.
Right now it's about half-court execution. Neither team's gotten much in transition.
They play on. Williams inside. Hauser got a piece.
Wow, what a block. Looked like he might get the foul down low. Had his arm wrapped around him before he went up.
Joey Hauser with a block. Back comes Marquette. This would tie it. It will not. And then a look at Michigan and Ohio State. And a complete recap.
Golfer.
Oh, have you played with him?
I have played golf with him on multiple occasions. And actually, he was my roommate on a golf trip. And he irons his golf shorts before he goes out to play, which is quite disturbing in a number of ways.
Yeah.
But
and Howard to back of the line. Again, this is the least desirable if you're Louisville, is putting Marcus Howard on the free throw line.
That's like an intentional walk. You just give him the 2 points. Let's move on.
2 minutes to go.
Got a horn set up top.
Ten to shoot. Cunningham needs a ball screen. He gets it. Can't turn the corner on John. It's a 2. Forced it up, didn't hit it, and it's Marquette ball.
Boy, that was a nice job by Theo John to keep Cunningham in front and to do so without fouling him, because that would have put him on the line for 2.
Joey Hauser gets inside, rejected by Akoy. It looked like Joey Hauser might have had a little running hook there, tried to get closer to Brooklyn.
Usually top 5 is pretty accurate any time of the year.
Already had Duke, Kentucky, and Duke Gonzaga in a couple of top 5 matchups this season.
A little triangle inside. Shuffle cut.
Trying to get McMahon open, and Annam won't leave him. And now the ball is knocked away, and the foul is going to go against Sutton. 1 point game with 1:03 to go.
Chris Mack called a set called elbow. They're getting into a horn set, 2 up top, 2 in the corners.
They play on after the bump. 14 to shoot. Cunningham the kick. Sutton from the corner for 3.
Took advantage of the freshman. Joey Hauser helps off a corner shooter. Got caught in no man's land. Not turn down the open 3. But I think you want to get something going to the basket here. put Louisville in a position to foul you. It's a 2-possession game no matter what you do. Get the 2.
Howard almost carried that ball, gets inside, takes a bump, and he'll try. Marquette has now made its last 15 free throws, and again, it's a 1-point game.
Boy, that was a huge play.
Out of bounds. So Louisville ball, game clock and shot clock basically dead even, as you can see. And they just do get it into Cunningham here, and then the quick.
He wants to call it just so they can inbound it in the front court, but you know, so you got 2 shooters in the corners right now.
And 2 other guys who are probably the best shooters in Howard and Sam Hauser. Howard driving, floater, no, follow, yes, tie game.
What a terrific tip in by Hauser. Louisville couldn't get a block out. Now Louisville has to think about getting something going toward the basket. If they kick it to an open shooter, that's fine.
Chris Mack is telling Perry, go, let's go. He'll step back and miss the shot. The follow, no. 3 cracks at it, and we are. Kansas and Tennessee still coming up.
Louisville going back to that familiar set play. Got high-low. Talked about whether they could like to go to that out of the timeout. They're going right into the overtime to get the ball deep into Enoch. He just couldn't finish it. We've had more guys that have had point-blank opportunities, and they're not able to execute those plays down below.
Yeah, Enoch's had some really good looks. They look good leaving his hand, but he's just.
And Marcus Howard has been much more aggressive in this second half of attacking ball screen situations. Doesn't matter whether he's had a switch. He's really done a good job of getting the ball into the paint.
Wara driving on Joey Hauser, draws a second defender, and it's out of.
I thought that Wara could have given him that ball, but Wara took it on his own.
Louisville had the lead late. Marquette battled back. Now they are up early in overtime, but not anymore after a tough driving layup by Ryan McMahon.
Well, Marquette did a good job of taking away the 3-point shot, but that's why you want to get him inside. Make him make that tough one, and to his credit, he did it.
Joey Hauser off to Sam, and now back to Howard with 12 on the shot clock.
Comes Theo John with the ball screen. And get that call. Now, that was a bad angle that the official was at, but the ball handler went the other way. There was no contact on the screen. In order for there to be a foul, there's got to be contact. And there was really no contact there. But you know, it's a point of emphasis, so you're seeing those screening calls all the time, and everybody gets touched by it.
Yeah, we're seeing more of them this year, especially when I think what we've noticed this year, when your stance is broader, when your legs are farther than shoulder width apart, we're seeing it called more this year.
Yeah, but you can stand any way you want as long as there's no contact. Boy, there was contact there.
Yeah, between Annam and McMahon. McMahon in tonight's game has been poked in the eye, got an elbow up in the face earlier, and then just got knocked flat on that play.
Yeah, I thought that was an offensive foul because even though there was movement, McMahon had legal guarding position. He just got run over.
Redshirt junior from Sarasota, Florida, known first and foremost for his shooting ability, but he's gotten a lot of minutes and been involved in a lot of other types of stuff here tonight. Pull up by Howard after he created a little space. And now Chris Mack wants the offensive foul against Marquette.
Well, he's got a fair point. There was a discard there. If you go back and watch that again, that right arm clearly went right into the chest of the defender and knocked him back. It was VJ King who had switched and then switched back to get the big guy off him. And that was a foul there.
Howard has really turned it on since halftime. A lot of dribbling on this set for Louisville. Now Enoch banging with Theo John, and John reached down with that.
Told you.
Was that out loud? And he misses a free throw, so it's a 1-point game. Marquette with the ball and the lead.
See, on Black Friday, you should be nice to your retail professionals, and you should be nice to big guys because we don't get a break.
I was nice to you in Maui.
Everybody's nice in Maui.
That's true. That's a fair point.
How could you not be nice?
Yeah.
We're in Brooklyn now.
Screen by Hauser. 2-point game.
There's plenty of time to go in this one in a one-possession game. Louisville just needs to attack a little quicker.
Won't go down for.
He's missed a couple down the stretch here.
And ultimately that could prove to be the difference, is that Marquette's just done a better job from the line than Louisville has in this game.
That's always an advantage Marquette's going to have in late game situations, as they can make free throws. Weave out front, nobody protecting the basket.
Howard in and around and out, and the ball is out of bounds.
I don't think it'd be a bad idea to give Enoch a touch inside. One, because he is such a good free throw shooter, but get the ball in the paint and let him go to work a little bit.
Just no space for McMahon to try to get off a shot. Cunningham with a seam and a foul committed. And Louisville leads.
Clutch free throws.
Howard guarded by 4. Step back jumper, got it. Boy, is he tough.
Got away with another little discard. That time with the right hand, showing he's ambidextrous.
Remember, he's playing with 4, so a call against him would be huge. Marquette back on top by 1. 45 seconds to go in overtime.
This is where a stop wins it. Switch.
Cunningham driving on Joey Hauser. Gets it off. Won't go. Offensive rebound. And Morrow's got it. Clean block, and he comes up with it.
Boy, great offensive rebound by VJ King, but Morrow just took it right out of his hands.
Now you got a foul, but you want to try to foul somebody other than Howard or one of the Hausers if you can't get a steal and a time. And Sam Hauser to inbound. And a timeout as they can't
inbound it.
Sam Hauser lofts it in for his brother Joey, who gets fouled.
These guys know they can.
3-point game, shot clock off, 1 timeout for Louisville if they choose to use it. Cunningham with the ball for the Cardinals, down to 12.
Whatever happens, you don't want to let him get off a 3.
McMahon can't get it off, steps back, gets it off, not there. Ball still loose. Desperation 3, not there.